Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Funky Bunch at Sunday Brunch Podcast. Bright and early on another Sunday, and I'm tired as shit. Again. But let's get the plugging out of the way. For those of you watching on Twitch, there is a YouTube channel at youtube.com/DJ_funky_fresh. No. YouTube is youtube.com/DJ_funky_fresh gaming. Twitch is DJ_funky_fresh. And then obviously these podcasts are also on Spotify. You just gotta search Funky Bunch at Sunday Brunch and you should find all of them. Except for apparently the first episode is no longer up. For whatever reason. The first episode does not exist on Spotify anymore, which is weird. But anyway, good morning, Ash. Good morning, Emotive. Hope y'all are having a wonderful day thus far. So, I've hit you guys with a lot of researchy things in the last couple of weeks. So, I figured today, since my birthday was on Friday, we'll make this about me. And I will talk about myself again. Mostly stories, things I've learned, and then of course, if anybody has any questions that they want to know about me, y'all can ask and I can answer it. There's no plan. I'm just kind of talking until we run out of topics, type of deal. So, yeah, because there's no plan, I'm just going to jump from story to story as I think of them. And, yeah. Hopefully this goes well. But, let's see. A notable story of mine would be, back in high school, I think it was junior year of high school, I was selling cans and bottles of Mountain Dew out of my band locker. I was selling cans for 50 cents a can. I was selling bottles for $1 a bottle. And I made about $1,000 in profit after about 6 months. And the only reasons that I made only $1,000 in profit in only 6 months is because a teacher found out. The teacher found out because they just approached a kid who was not the smartest and was just like, hey, if I needed to procure some Mountain Dew, where would I go? And kid's like, look for the kid who's wearing a ratty red sweatshirt in the band room. And that's how I got a Saturday school for selling Mountain Dew from my band locker. They let me sell the rest of the stuff I had in my locker, though. That was nice of them. I was able to, because I still had probably like $40 to $50 worth of Mountain Dew to sell still in my locker. Well, what else were they going to do? Tell me to drink it all? And it's fucking like, what the fuck did I do to my knee? That is definitely going to be a podcast for, I think, next week. I think next week I need to get some information and do a bit more research. And I will definitely be doing a podcast only on my body's issues. Physical issues. We're not going to touch the mental ones yet. But yes. Well, Mankeys, you're so hungover, but you're here. You should probably drink more water. But nice of you to wake up and be here. Let's see. What's another good story? As a kid, did you guys ever do anything to your bicycles to make it so that you could sound like you were riding a motorcycle instead of a bike? Back in the day, I only know of 2 ways of doing it. The way I never did it was to take a playing card and take a clothespin and attach it to the spokes of your tire. And then just kind of ride with it like that. bottle. I don't know the bottle one. I did the aluminum can. Crush it with the back tire, get it nice and wedged on there, and then ride with it on there like that. In my opinion, it sounded much better. It was a lot more metallic sounding than a playing card. Yeah. An older kid showed me how to do it. My parents were not very happy because they're like, you're going to destroy your tire. I'm like, but it's fun. Did I ever try and throw sticks in my friends' tires? I don't think so. Mostly because I hated falling off of my bike from the amount I had scabs, and I bled a lot riding my bike. I don't have the best of balance. So I didn't want to cause other people pain, so I did not want to try to sabotage them as they were riding. That type of a deal. No. Gosh, it's so weird trying to think back to my childhood, Like, there was the time I was playing the NES in my parents' back room, and my brother swallowed a curtain hook. It was like jousting for children. Oh, yeah, kind of. But as I was saying, there's a time I was playing the NES, and my brother was like 3 or 4. He found a curtain hook that had fallen off the curtains, and he swallowed it whole. I, of course, being a good gamer, did not notice. But somehow, miraculously, my brother was completely fine. He swallowed it, it went down straight. It didn't twist at all and rip up his insides, but they did have to go and, I don't remember how they fished it out of him. But yeah, that happened. Let's see, when did I learn how to ride a bike? That's a good question. I definitely learned how to ride my bike at my parents' old house. And we moved in 2000. So that had to be... I had to be between 5 and 7. Because I was definitely riding my bike for at least 1 to 2 years before we moved. Oh, if you think my brother swallowing a curtain hook is bad, at my old house, my brother and I had a competition to see who could eat more leaves and grass. I won. I was also sick for like 2 days. Yeah, we just sat in the backyard, ate grass and leaves and dirt. I ate more, so technically I won the competition, but I lost the war. I won the battle, but I lost the war. But it's because I ate so much that I got sick. Let's see. We had a bush out front, and there were some berries that grew on them. I think I swallowed a couple of those berries. And apparently it was a good thing that that I swallowed them and I didn't chew them because they were poisonous. And they had to get those out of me. Because if they had ruptured and then, the juices were inside of me, yeah. I wasn't the smartest of kids now, was I? Oh, God. Let's see. So it was unfortunate, but our Nintendo, our NES, broke fairly early on. And our neighbors who lived behind us, so we had a fence leading to a giant field, and then to the left of that field was someone's house. They used to babysit us. Yes, the juices are inside me, Mankeys. But they had a Super Nintendo, and they used to babysit. And I used to go over there a lot to play the Super Nintendo. And one day I was bored, so I kind of just left my house, opened the gate, went over to their place, knocked on the door. I'm like, can I play the Super Nintendo? And they're like, no, I'm sick right now. Go home. And I was like, aww. And I went home. So sad they wouldn't let me play their Super Nintendo even though their daughter was sick. Oh. I loved video games as a child. Like, I have a lot of dumb stories of me just not noticing things because I'm playing video games. We'll get to a couple more later. Let's see. Also at that old house, I discovered a bunny nest. It was underneath one of our big trees in the front yard. There was just a nest of bunnies. You know, I accidentally kicked up some of the grass because it was just like a little nest bed laying over top of it. You could lift it up and there was just like a tiny little nest of baby bunnies just in the ground. And that's where my mom's like, nope, you're not allowed to go near it because if the bunny smells human, the bunny will abandon its babies. I wasn't allowed to go see the bunnies anymore. I think my parents relocated them because it was dangerous with the lawnmower. But that was the first time I'd ever seen a bunch of little baby bunny rabbits. It's weird just thinking about like how as a tiny kid I just did so many dumb things. It's hard to remember them all. Gosh. Yes, baby bunnies. They're so cute. They were adorable. If I can remember what they look like, which I can't. So another dumb thing I did while playing video games was, did I ever play any fun tricks or pranks on my siblings? Don't know how you would, Yes, I do remember that they were adorable, and that's all that matters, even if I don't remember what they look like. So I had a little blue toy hammer that was actually incredibly hard plastic. And I would go over, hit my brother very hard on the head with it, put the hammer down, and then announce I was going to timeout. I just did that constantly throughout the day. I don't know if that was my way of being like, I want to read, I'm going to my room, so whack. And then just... My brother has a very hard head, though, because of me now. So he can thank me later. I still have that hammer. I whacked it on my arm a couple times the other day, and I was like, damn, this thing hurts. Did I have a favorite family member? I don't think so. I mostly kept to myself within my family. I still do. I guess the closest thing I had to my favorite would be my uncle. He's my godfather, and he's a musician as well, so because of things like that, he was always I was always fairly close to him. It also probably helped that he brought bags of M&Ms for everybody every holiday where he came over, and he'd always give me the extras. So I guess that also works to make him my favorite. Yes, he became referred to as Uncle M&M. And he still brings M&Ms for me. Only me, though. He'll like sneak a bag in and then just kind of on the sly slide it on over to me at the table, or just, you know, when I greet him at the door. So, there's my favorite family member. I wish my uncle was Marshall Mathers. Nah. Let's see, where was I going? Oh, right. Another dumb thing I did while playing video games. So, as a kid, when I was playing video games, I was very inattentive to my surroundings. and the water pipe burst, leading to the outdoor faucet, the spigot, and it was pouring into the room about 4 feet behind where I was sitting. I didn't notice for like 10 minutes. It had frozen and then burst. And so I just assumed, I don't know. And then after like 10 minutes, I heard something. So I like pause what I'm playing. I turn around and I just see water gushing out. So I call for my parents without moving. I'm like, there's water gushing into the back room. And then I go back to playing video games. My parents kicked me off for the rest of the day. I'm like, well, if I had been back here playing, you wouldn't have known anyway. But no, I got in trouble because I didn't get off my butt to go get them. Right? It's like, come on. Lego Star Wars is much more important. No, it was Lego Batman. Lego Batman is much more important than trying to fix the water. What was my favorite video game when I was a child? That's a hard one. Because, let's see, I don't remember playing much on the NES. I probably only had Duck Hunt and Super Mario. Or, was it Super Mario or just Mario Bros? I don't remember what the original Mario was called. No, I did not go get the Mankeys. That's the issue. I just yelled for them. After that, I had a Game Boy. And then in 2nd grade, I ended up with a GameCube. I don't know what my favorite game would have been. I would probably have to go with Dragon Warrior Monster, simply because I played the crap out of it, and I still play the crap out of it. But for the most part, I just tried to play lots of different games. Simply because, there were lots of different options, It's just always hard to be like, oh, I want to play this, or I want to play only this, or... Yeah, I wasn't allowed to get violent video games until I was in high school. That's when I bought my Xbox. Funnily enough, so I bought an Xbox from a friend. The Xbox ended up breaking, which neither us or the friend knew was going to happen. I was obviously very sad. My friend refunded us the money. And then my dad went out and bought me an Xbox. I mean, at that point, the 360 was out, and, they were fairly cheap. It was the classic big, heavy brick Xbox, which, actually, I think that's the only version of it. But anyway. The classic Xbox. I had one game for the classic Xbox. Destroy All Humans. First, initially. Initially, I only had Destroy All Humans. Which, actually, wait, do I have it over? No, I do not. I do not have any of my original. I have a couple original Xbox games. Not that one. They're remastering it, and it's coming out next month, I think. I'm probably going to get it. And we're probably going to stream it. Because, yay Cryptosporidium. I also had Halo. Oh, I'm glad they added a bunch to it. It's a classic. It's a good one. But yeah, I also had a Halo from that Xbox. Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. Those were some good games. I hope they remastered those and bring them back. What else do I have? I have Fable 1, 2, and 3. I don't know. I have a... Oh yeah, I had Halo 1 and 2 on the original Xbox. I also had the remastered Halo 1. I should probably grab the Master Collection at some point on Steam. Doritos at 3 a.m. in the smelliest, sweatiest of basements. I didn't have a basement. I wasn't allowed to play video games that late. Sadly, the only way I could play video games late was if I were playing on my DS and I had the covers over my head and I was playing with the barest minimum amount of light. We're talking under the cover gaming. Oh yeah. The good old times. Yes. All the memory lanes. Let's see. After the Xbox, I bought myself a Wii. I think I had 2 games originally with the Wii. It was Twilight Princess and Smash Bros. Flashlight with the Game Boy. I actually had the backlight plug-in light. So, you plug that fucker in and then you can actually see because it sits right above it. And then for the original Game Boy Advance, I had the, they had a little, I had the battery drainer. Then they had like a magnifier light thing that you could put over the original long Game Boy Advance. So you could play and see it all nice and blown up in front of you. Of course, naturally, I got the SP as soon as I could. And then you didn't have that issue at night. Yeah, I mean, I had the original brick Game Boy. Then I had like 4 different regular Game Boys. I have several different Game Boy Advances. I've got 3 Game Boy SPs. I've got 3 DSs. I've got a DS Lite. I have a 3DS. I hope to eventually own one of everything. I have several link cables back in the day. I used to pretend when I was training Pokemon over it that if you held your finger over it, you could feel the Pokemon go through. If you actually believed it, you could swear to God you felt a little bump. Even though you know it's clearly not real. I swear to God I could feel it. Yeah. That's the cutest thing you've heard all day. Well, the day has just started, so I'm sure Lucius will make a noise eventually. Which, I don't know where he is anymore. So I'm not the only person. Yes. Somebody else could feel it. Oh, God. Yeah, I don't know. I want to be a collector of Nintendo things, so... I'm still missing a DSi, a DSXL, a 2DS, and the Game Boy Micro. I want to be the Nintendo. I still do to this day push and hold B. And my catch rate has always been better when I push and hold B. That was Lucius. He walked underneath of me and went, meow. I can talk about my pets. Let's see. Growing up, I had a black lab named Bailey. He was, she died of of just cancer. Did everyone believe when they were younger that if you pushed the button harder, you did more damage or jumped higher? I don't remember if I believed that or not, but I know I definitely got angry. Because anytime things got really intense, you're hitting the buttons hard, you were going really hard at it, and you're just like, I'm doing better now. It's like, no, you were actually playing better, maybe. But yeah. All the things you used to believe as a child are funny. But let's see. Yeah, so we had a black lab until she died. And then after that, we got an English Springer Spaniel named Dodger. We had him for a while. Unfortunately, he got attacked by a dog. And then after that, he got very aggressive. Because he was scared all the time. And then when he got just old and just too aggressive, because he was starting to bite everybody and nobody could get near him when he was getting old, we had to put him down. And then we got Opie, who is a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. And then he got a couple of he had some genetic issues, which is really funny because he was the only one who got it out of that litter. So the breeder, in apology, gave us another Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, and his name is Milo. Funnily enough, Opie was born right around my birthday as well. So he was referred to as my dog, and his birthday was celebrated with me. And so it's really funny. Opie is like me, Milo is like my brother, and then our cat is like my sister. Oh, I loved him. He was a lazy boy who just liked to lay down with you. Yeah. He always came over, laid down with me. He was always with me. Yeah. But he was like super chill, super lazy. But his brother just, oh my god, he went from 0 to 100 in less than a second. Like, was always running around, barking. He still barks. He'll bark at anything and everything. He's always hyper, always running around. He is still alive. Opie died a year or two ago. I don't really remember. Let's see. And then we've had 2 Persian cats. First name was Oz. He lived for fucking forever, like 15 years. Then he passed on and we got a new one. Her name is Zoe. She's still around. She's a grumpy kitty. Probably because I teased her a lot as a cat, and so she doesn't like me. Oh yeah, we love the white hair everywhere. Yeah, that's basically how it is, Mankeys. Did you look at me? That means we have to play, because you looked at me. Let's go. I'll run over here now. I'm back and back and back and back and back. Yeah. After Opie died, my mom got a, shoot, what are they called? Sheepadoodle. So, a poodle sheepdog. Was the tiniest little thing, and now that thing is fucking huge. And she loves to play as well. But of course, Milo's too old to roughhouse and play all the time, so he's no fun for her. But her name's Darby, and she just loves to run and run and run. Sheepadoodles are very cute. The majesty of a poodle without the look of a poodle, basically. She is very floof. Very, very much so. Yes. I think that's all the pets we had when I was a kid living with my parents. Obviously, I got Lucius about 4 years ago. He's been mine ever since. My brother got a cat. His name's Chunk. He's fat. They found him on the street. And my brother's fiancée actually just bought a dog. I don't remember the kind of dog. But it's a puppy and very happy. And then my sister also found a cat, but on her roof. And she adopted her, and her name is Luna Bug. Bug for short. Yes, Panda. Chunk is chunky. Chunk in the front, chunk in the back. It's just a fat cat. But it's a happy fat cat. He's got a mustache. It looks like a mustache. He's got a, it's like white markings in the front that looks like a mustache. Yes, a mustache. I've never actually met Chunk because Chunk doesn't get to visit my parents' house. Luna gets to visit my parents' house because Luna's front claws have been removed. That's why Lucius isn't allowed to visit my parents' house either, because he has all of his claws. And my mom has lots of expensive and good furniture. It's one of those thick, stereotypical mustaches. So, I don't really know what a handlebar mustache typically looks like. But, yeah. Yeah. Kind of hard when you can't picture shit in your head, so I just happen to know what it looks like. Let's see. What else is a good story to tell? Okay, you think yes. Go. Yes, Lucius. It's morning time. It doesn't actually curl, but yeah, I think it is a handlebar type of deal. Think 1920s. So, obviously, I've said this before, but I was in the marching band for 4 years. I was also in the winter drumline for 4 seasons, but only 3 years, because I did 2 seasons my freshman year, which involved basically year round. I was at the school from like 6 a.m. until about 9 p.m. Marching band lasted from May until November, and then winter drumline was December until April. So first year, I was in the pit all 4 years because I could not march. I did auxiliary percussion the first year. I played the rack, as it was referred to, which is basically, it was a nice arrangement of cymbals, wind chimes. I got to play the, what's it called? I played the chimes, the bass drum, the gong, triangle. I basically played any and everything that isn't a drum set, marimba, xylophone, glockenspiel, or vibraphone. My first year. Then for winter drumline, I did the same thing. So our drumline, we had 2 drumlines. They were the A line and the world line. The A line were for the just, hey, why don't you try out something new? It was for the future. Yes, I was percussion, 100%. A-line was for everyone who didn't get the positions they wanted in the marching band, to try out those other positions to get them better for next year when people graduated and we had to move people up. So I did drum set in A-line, and then I did the auxiliary percussion rack again in world line. So both of them, we competed in all of them. So, like for instance, marching band, there is Grand Nationals, in which everybody in the U.S. competes. If you get invited to Grand Nationals, you have to be ranked in the top 100. Oh, nice. Brass, trumpet, baritone, horn, violin, string. But, so we made it to Grand Nationals all 4 years. Freshman year, we made semifinals and we made finals. So we were one of the top 12 bands in America. So we performed at Colts Stadium in Indianapolis, which I guess was, we were the last. Yeah, we were the last group, to perform on the last Colts Stadium before they tore it down and built Lucas Oil. or before Lucas Oil opened up as the main. So we played in the original. But I have to tell you, being able to perform like in that stadium and being able to look up at like completely full crowd of people, not only performing, this was 2008. 2007. Right? 2007, 2011. Yeah, 2007. November of 07. That is crazy. Yeah, because I graduated high school in 2011. But being able to not only perform because obviously when you do prelims, the stadium's like only partially full. You've got, your family and your cheering section, and then you've got, some of the bands that had already performed and some of the ones that were going to perform later, but it's not really full. Then when you get to semis, you've got a lot of the other bands that, didn't make it, which is a ton. You've got more people to sit there and watch. And then when you get to finals night, it's the last 12 bands. Everybody is sitting there, just looking down, watching. And then obviously after everyone performs, then you all get into lines. And then you all walk onto the field. And then everyone's just staring down at you. It is an amazing feeling to be able to stand in the middle of that field and just look up at... It's only half a stadium because obviously the band's performing one way, so the other side, no one's going to sit back there. But, yeah, it's an amazing feeling. But that was the only year we made finals. Every other year, we got a new band director after freshman year. And ever since then, like, our band has started to just go downhill. They're so bad now. Like, I was a huge fan of the band, and, like, freshman year, I was just like, I want to donate. I want to, help make them better. It's just like, and now it's not. Oh, God, yeah, 70,000 people, just, oh. And I got that same experience, but on a lesser degree with, Drumline. So every year for Drumline, they hold the finals here in Dayton, actually, at the Nutter Center. Yeah, the Nutter Center. And so, you're performing there. And it's the same thing. Because we've had the same percussion director, I'm pretty sure Worldline always made finals. At least the 3 years I did Worldline, I made finals. So, once again, it's not 70,000 because it's a basketball stadium instead of a football stadium. But, I mean, it's still, like... Because obviously, you put in, like, 5-6 months of hard work just practicing every day, doing competitions all over and just getting better and better and better. And it was just like, eventually you hit that finals, you perform your heart out, and it's a great feeling. Just being able to put all your hard work out there and just enjoy it. I've always pushed for people to, do band and things because it's just, you get a good feeling out of it, and you actually can see the fruits of your labor. You got your performance out. You can see how music affects people. It makes them happy, that type of deal. So at least that's how I always have viewed it. I just loved it. Heck yeah. But yeah, due to some major disagreements with my band director, I did not do Winter Drumline my senior year, just because The man ended up having it out for me, and he proved it by picking on my sister when she started, even though she had nothing to do with me and I was a bad kid. I wasn't actually a bad kid. He just happened to decide he didn't like me, and anything I did wasn't good enough. I mean, sure, maybe I did deserve one or two things that I did wrong. Like, he was the one who gave me Saturday school for selling Mountain Dew out of my locker. And I got a Saturday school for plagiarizing a band essay. Those were the only two things I actually deserved to be in trouble for. But I still got the last laugh on that plagiarizing a band essay. So, as part of Symphonic Band, we had to attend 2 concerts a semester, and we had to write a report about that concert. I didn't go to a concert, and I needed notes. I asked a friend for notes. They sent me their essay. I looked at their essay, and I put my name on it. I turned it in. Obviously, I should have gotten in trouble for that. I got a 0 for it. He almost got in trouble as well, but I basically kind of just sat down and I'm like, look, this is what I did. This is what I asked for. This is what happened. He did nothing. He had no idea. You punishing him does nothing to deter my future actions. So he didn't get in trouble. But the reason I say I got the last laugh is because they always forget I'm really musically inclined. So obviously I got a 0 on that assignment, and that's, an assignment worth like 20% of your grade. We go into the final. I take the final. And then of course they post everyone's grades outside. Oh, yeah, I know it's good that I was honest and I didn't drag my friend down. I mean, there's no way I'm going to drag somebody else down for my failings. That's just not right or fair. But when they posted everyone's thing, they also posted a separate thing that showed, who had the highest grade and who has the highest grade in the class. So the highest grade on the exam and the highest grade in the class. And to make it anonymous, they used our student numbers. So I look. I got beyond a perfect score on the exam, like I always do, because band is easy. Music theory is easy. Then I look at who had the highest score. Obviously, it was me, by a long shot. And then I look at the highest grade in the class. I had the highest grade in the class, despite the fact that I lost 20% of my grade with a 0. So, cheers to me for being able to show my teachers off. And it's not even like I put extra work into it to, be able to rub their faces in it. I just happened to get the highest grade in the class. Shit happens. And I'll take it. But, yeah. But, I mean, that's the one thing I didn't like about my band director, is the fact that he just got hung up on all that, and he just treated me like I was, a bad kid constantly, all the time. Like, his assistant band director, he was the one I dealt with mostly whenever I got in trouble. And, we'd sit down, we'd talk, and, he knew I wasn't a bad kid. He just knew I did dumb things occasionally. And, he treated me like how he should have. Like, I knew what I was doing. I got stuck in a situation that wasn't my fault senior year, so I actually went from being section leader of the entire front ensemble pit to not having, that power. And then everyone decided, well, he's not the section leader, so I don't have to listen to him. including the band director. So he'd ask music questions relating to, hey, what do we need to do for here? Any suggestions? And, I'd throw out my suggestion. He wouldn't listen to me. So I'd have to turn to one of my friends and tell them the answer, who would then, tell him. He's like, oh, that's a great idea. Why didn't anyone tell us? Oh, trust me. The only reason I didn't fight with him is because I didn't want him to pick on my sister when she started band the year after I graduated. Unfortunately, he did anyway. So, I hate him for that. I don't hate the band, but he has dragged it down in such a bad way. So, yeah, he's the reason I don't do music anymore. He did the exact opposite of what he's supposed to do. And instead of inspiring students to want to pursue music and continue making themselves better, he made a student quit. I didn't do Worldline. And actually, because of the way he treated me, a lot of the percussionists didn't do Worldline. So that was the last... So, the Worldline that year sucked. It's okay, I couldn't have continued it in college anyway, because I did go to Ohio University, and we did have the Marching 110, but they did not have a front ensemble, so I would not have been able to perform with them. You guys might actually recognize the Marching 110, because they have a couple of very Mimi marching band shows. We will shit in his air filter in his car. Nah, we don't need to do that. I'm willing to be a bigger person than he is. I'll never get the smell out. But, yeah. That's okay. There's no way I would have been able to continue music. I just would have gotten one more season out. And then I would have been recognized as having 8 seasons under my belt, even though I did do 2 seasons in 1 year. But that's okay. I still had my experience, my time, my enjoyment of band in high school. So, in the end, I'm happy with where I ended up in life. Apparently, if you lick a Skittle and stick it to a car, then take it off later, it will shatter the window. Mangees, 1, how do you know this? 2, specify it a bit better, because I could read that as, oh, so if I lick this Skittle and put it on the door, if I take it off, it'll shatter his windshield. Yeah! I don't believe it either. I'm not going to try it, but I don't believe it. There you go. Specify the car window. But, yeah, you should have tried it on the ex-girlfriend's car. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. A lot of life lessons in me. Like, it doesn't matter what you do. Because let's be honest, none of the things that I did in high school have really impacted me now. The only thing that has impacted me is the fact that I didn't study. Because I didn't have good grades in college, or not college, in undergrad. In high school, I was not as prepared for the SAT, ACT. Because I did not get a lot more money. Yes, I have good advice, like you have to take your pants off completely to sit on the toilet backwards. Yes, you do. That is a life lesson. But I do wish I had spent more time studying. Simply so I could have gotten a better scholarship. Don't ask questions about it. That's why it's a life lesson. Because you do it wrong once, and it's a life lesson for life. But I mean, I'll be honest. I sat down and I studied twice in my life, and it paid off. First time I actually sat down and studied was for the LSAT, the law school admission test. And because I scored well enough, I got into law school for free. Almost free. 97% off. And then the second time I sat down and studied was to take the bar. And I passed that in my first go. So... yeah. You laugh, but I never studied. Because I didn't know how. I just couldn't sit down there and reread my notes, which is what you're supposed to do. I think that's what frustrated my parents the most, is because I was incredibly smart, but I never applied myself. And I kind of wish going back I had applied myself, because that's exactly what I needed to do to in the end, it would have only saved me like $1,000 to $5,000. But that's $1,000 to $5,000 more I would have had now. So... but I mean, here's a good question. If you really think about everything you did in life, can you honestly say you would go back and change anything? Because if you change what you did in your past, what would come true now wouldn't necessarily be true, you know? Like, would I be the person I am if I didn't do everything I did? If I didn't meet the people I did? If I didn't date the people I did? If I didn't get in trouble the way I did? You know? Would I be a completely different temperament? Would I be completely different everything? I can honestly say, even though I made a ton of mistakes, I don't think I would change anything the way I did. Because I like who I am. And because I like who I am... well, I mean, if you're going to change anything, you might as well go big or go home. But I honestly don't think I would. So much wasted money. I mean, no matter what you do, someone's gonna think you're wasting money, so... but, I don't know. I could have probably been in a better place to have actually moved this year, but... what's an extra year? That's my opinion. You know, what's an extra year? But I mean, even still, all my mistakes made me... oh, damn. $40,000 worth of wasted money. Yeah, that would do it. Yeah. But let me ask you, Mickeys, with you wasting all that money, though, would you say that you're a bit smarter with your money? Or are you still just, bad with it? Also, this mug is perfect about this conversation right now. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. Alright, no more drugs. But I'd still say you learned something that you might not have learned otherwise. Drugs are bad, okay. Thank you, Mr. Mackey. But yeah. Truly. It's just, I think that, you know, the journey that you go on in life is unique to you yourself, and you wouldn't be yourself if you wouldn't be the person we know you are today if you hadn't gone through that journey. Type of deal, you know? You only learn through your mistakes. You don't learn by not making a mistake, so... And like how crazy it is to talk to random people at 4 in the morning after not sleeping for a few days. Well, not sleeping for a few days is bad enough as it is. So, you know. So, yeah. For real, though. Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, that's also how it is with this, with the Discord. I mean, you've got, Emma, who's on the West Coast, who's 3 hours behind us, who stays up stupidly late. There's lots of us. Oh, yeah, the homeless people are incredibly nice. Yes, there is a floof right there. Well, yeah. There's also the crazies. So. But I think this is a good place to leave it off, anyway, for the podcast. Unsure what I'm going to do next week. It depends on if I can get all the information I need about my knees in order to be able to do a podcast on that. I just want to have the dates and everything correctly before I do that. If not, I'm going to probably jump into one of my other ones. I'm still collecting more ideas. So if anyone has suggestions on what they'd like to hear, I would like to see some suggestions from that. Otherwise, I'll just keep making things up as I go. Yeah. I'd like to thank everybody for dropping by and watching this podcast with me. And we will do this again next week. Yes, I'm glad you could make it, Mankeys. So, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you everybody for listening. And until the next time, everybody, stay funky, people.